Hey, everybody. I wanted to give you a quick idea on a full moon release practice to ease your grief. And so I am sharing just a real simple full moon release practice that you and your kids can try out tonight. So if you are interested in doing that, I would love for you to comment #moon so that I know that you are curious and willing to experiment with your kids on how to release this grief. So, for those of you who might be new in my world, my name is Dr. Annette Athey. I am a grief specialist and child development expert, and I've been working in the field for about 20 years with children and families. So, if you are here live, I would love for you to comment #live. If you are catching the replay, you are still here with us, so comment #replay. That helps this video stay in the news feed for those who might be interested. So I'm definitely going a little bit woo today, but I felt like it was really important and wanted all of you who might not be familiar with a full moon ritual to maybe consider that as something to add to your practice. So have you ever noticed that your kids or maybe even yourself start acting up, or there's more behaviors right around the time of a full moon? And I would love for those of you who are with me, whether you're watching the replay or watching live, have you ever noticed this before? Have you noticed that behavior trends kind of follow this pattern? If you want to comment yes or no. I would tend to say that although there's not necessarily research to back this up, those of us who are in the mental health field, those of us who are in the medical field, especially ER nurses, and even teachers would tell you that yes, the full moon has an effect on our children, it has an effect on us. And so that's again why I felt like this was important to bring this to you today. So I just have a real simple 4 step process that I want you to try out. And so again, real simple. You can do it by yourself or you can invite your children to do it with you. Our younger kids tend to be more willing to try something new. And so this might be just, again, something new that invites the grief conversations, but is a little more playful. You can experiment and be a little curious and see what your kids have to say about their grief, see where they're at, whether you're new into the grief process or you've been on this grief journey for a couple of years. This is a great thing to put into practice. So the first thing that you're going to do is everybody in the family is going to get a piece of paper. You can have them write things down or you can have them draw how they're feeling, but you're going to have them write down on that piece of paper, what do they want to let go? And you can encourage them to be specific about grief, but it doesn't have to just be about grief. So it might be things like they want to stop crying every time mom's name is mentioned, or maybe they want to stop getting mad every time somebody touches their special bear that was from dad, or maybe they want to not be so upset when friends at school mention their mom or dad or grandparent. For you parents, you might write things down like you want to let go of the anger that your spouse or partner left you here to parent on your own. Again, it only has to be the things that you are ready and willing to let go of. And maybe you write it down knowing I'm willing to let go of this a little bit, but not all the way yet. So again, this is just a good practice. It's not something that is a one and done. It's something that you could do over and over that would be helpful in the next coming months. The next thing that you want to do is you could invite your kids and yourself to read them out loud. What did you write down? What did you want to get rid of? Or everybody could read them silently. If people aren't comfortable sharing, that's totally fine. There is no requirement that you have to say these things out loud for this to be helpful. So in this moment, when we're reading them out loud, we really want to feel into that pain. And when I say feel into it, we want to feel as if that pain is 100% true right now, right in this moment. So feeling those emotions in your body. And the reason why we do this is it will help with the release process. If we have felt it in this moment, then our kids are able to let it go in the next step. If we don't actually feel it, it's not going to feel as real, and we're not necessarily letting go of what's ready to be healed. So the third step is that we're going to release those feelings. And so our kids, they need a tangible way to release. So we're either going to tear that list up into as many pieces as they want to. You might have a fire pit outside that you place it in and everybody's gets burned. Or maybe you tear it into tiny pieces and you go bury it in the backyard with the idea that we're burying it here, we're leaving it, we're letting it go. So this is something, again, depending on the ages of your kids, depending on what feels most helpful. I do have to say, when I do my full moon rituals, there is something very satisfying about taking my list, writing it down, really looking at it, feeling into all of those feelings, and then burning it, watching it crumble up and disintegrate. Really helps me kind of sit with letting go of those feelings in the moment. So that would just be my little extra suggestion, but certainly burning is not a requirement. The fourth part is we want to then express our gratitude. So because we are offering this to be removed from us, we're setting it outside of us. Whether you believe in God, universe, spirit, Mother Earth, or anything in between, or you don't have a specific person that you are giving this to, that is okay. You just want to express thank you, and maybe your thank you is just thank you, and it doesn't include a name. Maybe it does. But this could be a time where you give a thank you prayer or something to let your kind of, at the end of your feelings, you're kind of wrapping it up so that your body knows there's some closure. There's an end to this ritual, and that helps reestablish safety. And so that your kids know kind of here marks the end of this sharing. So again, like I mentioned, I have been using the full moon ritual for about the last 6 months. And I notice a big difference after I do my full moon ritual, that I sleep better that night because I've released these things from my body. I may not look any different. There may not be any visible change, but I feel lighter. And so this is something I would encourage all of you to experiment and try. Again, no matter how old or how young your kids are, this is a great way of coming together as a family, talking about the grief, talking about those negative feelings. And again, I don't necessarily like to say negative because I feel like they're all important feelings, but this is a way to share. Maybe your child feels like they have to be strong for you, and so they're not sharing their emotions, and maybe that's something they want to get rid of. Or maybe they want to stop crying as much, and so that's something they want to put down on. Again, there's no right or wrong to do this. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them in the chat. I would love and always go back and read all the comments. So If you are going to get curious and experiment with me tonight, today is a full moon. I would love for you to comment #moon so that I know that you'll be sitting under the same moon that I am as I do my full moon release this evening. And I look forward to seeing you back in the group. For those of you who are part of the Growing Up with Grief Facebook group, if you are not a member, we would love for you to come and join us where I share these videos quite often. So have a good rest of your day. I look forward to meeting you under the moon.